Hello and welcome to Americans Learn, and today I am going to be looking at a video by Guga Foods. This one is I cooked 100 years of burgers. This is a very bad time for me to be watching this because it is about 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving, and I am hungry, so I'm about to just get way hungry. This is going to be a problem, you guys. I'm going to be so hungry, but I am excited. I want to see these 100 years of burgers. How have they evolved throughout the years? And see if any of them look like something I would eat. So I hope you're excited for this. If you want to see more food related content or like more history food, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Let us begin.
On today's video, I am cooking 100 years of burgers, and we're going to be rating them from 1 to 10 so you know which ones we like best. And we're starting off with this one.
That looks sad.
Is that a burger?
Welcome to the 1910s.
In this decade, the story goes like this. At this time, they served hamburger steaks with a fork and a knife. Then one person showed up in a hurry, so they said, "Let me put on some toast for you." And that is how one of the very first burgers were created, in Louis' Lunch, where they still serve the original burger today. Now the interesting thing is how it was cooked. It was cooked in a vertical broiler that looked something like this. At this time, burgers cost 10 cents. Now obviously I don't have one of these, so I try to improvise as much as possible. These are cooling racks. I'm hoping they're gonna work just fine. Now for the patty, I chose 80-20, and as you can see, a nice thick one. So after laying down my burger on the cooling rack, I seasoned the patty with a good amount of salt and pepper. Then I immediately put one right on top. As now I got my Searsall and started to broil the beef. Surprisingly, it worked extremely well, and I can only imagine the smell that came out of this in the restaurant. Now they were not crazy because they also toasted their buns. And as far as I know, the very first burger had nothing, just bread and beef. It doesn't get any simpler than that. However, with our research nowadays, they make it like this. And that had a little bit of cheese spread.
Okay, interesting. Ooh, cheese spread. Cheese spread is not my thing. I don't really like cheese spread very much. I like cheese of almost all kinds. But the only time that I use cheese spread is I feel like I've used it to like dip pretzel rods in, like the port wine cheese spread, like sometimes for crackers, but like not on sandwiches. I've never liked it on like cheesesteaks and such. Like on a Philly cheesesteak, you need to have like the cheese spread. I've just never been a fan of it. I like proper melted cheese.
By the broiled beef, a thin slice of onions, and one of tomato. Close that all up, and this is one of the first burgers created. But don't forget the original, with nothing. Now how did it taste? Well, let's try them and rate it.
Looks very different than the burgers we know today.
There's no cheese, but at least there's no vegetables either.
Hey, I like the veggies.
It's basically meat and sandwich bread. Let's see how it tastes. Cheers, everybody.
Kind of boring,
Cheers.
probably. Fine, but boring.
I'm caring what anybody says. That's delicious.
Look, it's really good, but it feels wrong that it's in toast.
Yes.
Yeah, it does feel weird that it's in toast. I mean, it's probably fine, you know? It's just like, it seems like a boring burger. I like my burgers with like a little bit of like I don't know, maybe pimento cheese, or like pepper jack. I like cheddar cheese. Like, I like my burgers with a little bit of heat to them. Some kind of like a chipotle mayo or something, you know, something to give it a little bit of kick. I like them with caramelized onions, lettuce, tomato. Like, I don't know, man. I go kind of crazy with burgers. I'm like, just give me some. I mean, I don't really like raw onion or pickle on my burgers, but make sure there's cheese, lettuce, tomato, caramelized onions, bacon, avocado is good on burgers. I'll just keep going.
I'm okay with it being in toast, but I just feel like it needs some cheese. It needs some sauce.
Funny you said that because nowadays they actually make it like this, sir, and it has cheese for you.
Oh, man.
But that's not how it started. That's where we are right now. And this burger, everybody, still being served today. Cheers, everybody.
Oh my God, it's such a mess. Cheers.
Oh,
I want a burger. Already, I want a burger.
Tomato and the onions.
Talking about that, there was a huge upgrade from this decade to the next. Check it out.
In the 1920s, White Castle was born. The price started at only 5 cents. That's about 70 cents today.
In the 1920s. Holy crap. White Castle fries are really good though. But like, I didn't realize it was that long.
They are known to have invented the slider and the concept of carrying out. Now the way they made their sliders are
Oh,
quite
okay.
unique. First thing to do is to grab some beef. Then to make them at home, you want to lay down some parchment paper and immediately spread a good amount of beef. We want to get them super flat. So for that, I put
Okay.
another parchment paper right on top and pressed it with another sheet. Now I
Ooh,
laid it
good
down on a
idea.
cutting board, and using the back of my knife, I went ahead and scored the beef. This will allow me to break them once they get frozen. Now I remove the parchment paper. And if you're
Oh.
following the original recipes, you must poke 5 holes. You
Like
can do it just
dice?
by using a chopstick. Once they were all done, into the freezer it goes to firm up. After about 1
Brilliant.
hour, I took it out and look, we got our beef ready to be cooked. But there's one more thing that we gotta do, and that is to use the onions. They don't use fresh onions on White Castle. They actually use this, dehydrated one. So we gotta bring them back to life. To do that, you just gotta soak them in water. And funny enough, they still use this method today. In case you are wondering what kind of buns I'm using, these are
Hawaiian rolls?
sliders. They're gonna work perfectly for this recipe. So to cook them outside I went. I heat up the cast iron griddle and placed all of the onions in there together with the water.
Okay.
Because instead of getting a nice crust on our meat, we're gonna steam it. Yep, right on top of the onions. And
How long does it take to dehydrate or to rehydrate dehydrated onions, I wonder? Like I'd never considered that because I like to just cook them myself, and that takes forever. So I wonder how long it takes to do that.
And funny enough, the bread goes right on top of the beef. That's the way
Really?
they still do it today. You see, the idea is that the steam will also heat up the buns. I'm not gonna lie though, it feels weird putting the bread on top of the beef. Because once
Yeah.
it's fully cooked, the next thing is to assemble. First, on one side of the bun, they add a little bit of mustard. Next,
That's a
they
lot
scoop
of
the
mustard.
onion and the beef. As now there's left to do is to add some cheese, followed by pickles, and top it off with that mustard bun. Now this
That's just like I feel like I would be so worried that didn't that the bread didn't get cooked right, like that there's still like raw meat on the bread. That would freak me out. I mean, I've not had a White Castle burger. I've had their chicken sandwiches, which I liked, but now I'm like, should I have eaten that?
This is the White Castle slider. In the 1920s, this was extremely popular, and costing only 5 cents, it was a hit.
The 1920s burger, White Castle slider.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I saw it being cooked, and I'm not very excited. Let's say.
No, I was
Like the
worried.
steaming action on the raw meat, bro.
There's no crust. This thing is gray and sad, bro.
This looks like a boiled burger.
White Castle sounds like we're in the dungeon eating the.
There you go. 1 nickel, everybody. Doesn't get any better than that. Let's give it a try. Tell me. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I'm like, the cheese is barely melted. Like, the way I usually will cook a burger these days is like whenever I'll sometimes even put like some kind of cheese in the ground beef. Like I'll put the ground beef in a bowl, season it, add cheese, and then I'll put it in its little round balls and then squish them out. And then I put them in a frying pan usually because I don't have very much. And then once it's mostly cooked the way I want it to, I add a piece of cheese to the top and then put like a lid over it so that the cheese like just melts. It's so good.
It's so soft. It's not a good soft.
Super tender. That's why the pickle is there, to give you a little crunch.
We definitely have way better burgers nowadays, but at
Yeah.
the start, 1920s, this is
I
pretty
guess.
good.
Tell you one thing, it's pretty good.
For the
Time to go on to
1920s.
the next decade.
That's fair,
In the
I guess.
1930s, times were tough. It was the Great Depression. But there's one burger that really stands out from that decade. That would be the Oklahoma Fried Burger. Invented by Ross
Really?
Davids to keep burgers' prices low, he decided to press a handful of onions into his patties to extend the beef supply. Now to make this burger, there's a very interesting technique, and here's how. First, we go ahead and get the griddle nice and hot. Now place the beef right on top, smash it down a little bit, and as it's cooking, add a good amount of onions. Then of
Okay.
course, smash it down
Interesting.
even more. Now this burger doesn't get any easier than that to make, as after flipping it so that the onions can cook, you want to go ahead and toast the buns. Now in its most basic form, this is it. We got bread,
Interesting.
beef, and onions. It
Those
is
onions do
simple,
look good.
will feed hungry people, and at the same time, is it delicious? Well, let's
No.
find out.
The Great Depression burgers
It needs a
from
sauce.
the 1930s.
I need some like mustard or something on that, like some kind of aioli maybe.
Also known as the Oklahoma Fried Onion Burgers. Are you guys ready to try this?
Smells great.
Let's try it, everybody.
Onions do
Cheers.
smell good.
Cheers.
I mean, I would eat that. I would just want
that's a lot
mustard
of
or something
onion.
on it.
That's too much onion.
That's definitely too much onion.
Just the onion, the patty on the bun is just way too simple for me. What do you think, Leo?
The onions have such an overpowering sweetness that's what you get mainly, not a lot of beef.
Yeah, but Leo, come on, bro.
It makes sense at the time, I mean.
They didn't have the money, bro. Chill out.
Times are tough, I get it.
When times are tough, you gotta feed a lot of people. Still, this is a delicious burger. Enough, next decade.
In the
I like that, like the guy in the middle, he's so much more like he's a little bit kinder towards the food than the other two. The other two are a little harsher in their judgment.
1940s, things were about to change forever. That's when McDonald's was invented. Originally a barbecue restaurant, in the late 40s they switched to selling only burgers, fries, drinks, milkshakes, and pies. Also, McDonald's cheeseburger only cost 19 cents. And the way it was made was slightly different than today. You see, at the time they used a nice thicker patty, kind of like this one, and it was seasoned with salt and pepper. The crust was not strongly pronounced, but they made sure to toast the buns. And the original cheeseburger had ketchup on the top bun, followed by some onions, and a slice of cheese, followed by the meat. Yep, it was assembled upside down. And there we have it, the original cheeseburger from the 1940s.
Because, like, see, like, it melts kind of, but I just want it more melty, I guess, when I eat a burger. Like, I don't want the cheese to go on the burger cold. I just don't think that tastes right.
They don't look like this nowadays, because it had more meat than today. My hopes is that it's gonna be better.
1940s, the birth of McDonald's, gentlemen.
After school, me and Leo used to go straight to McDonald's and grab some cheeseburgers because they used to be 67 cents.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Are you guys ready to try this burger? Let's see. Please dig in, gentlemen.
do it.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I want one!
That's a classic.
That's a cheeseburger right there, everybody. Wow.
That's way better than McDonald's.
Especially from the last burger that we had that was more onion
Yeah.
than burger. This is nice, bold, beefy, delicious. Cheese, toppings, everything just blends together beautifully.
Jeez.
Things were getting a little bit better during this time, so they were able to put the cheese in and not charge an arm and a leg
though.
for it. But the onion
hate
burger,
ketchup.
don't knock that one, everybody. It's delicious. With that being said, let's jump on
He's
to the
so much
1950s.
nicer.
In the 50s, burgers started changing. It was when the Whopper was invented, the Jack in the Box, Whataburger, Sonic, and the Juicy Lucy. Yep, things started getting really good on that decade. Also, the
looks
kind of
good.
grill we know and love was created. But it didn't look like this. This is actually what it looked like. Now, there's a very interesting burger that was invented in the 50s, and that would be this one. It's called the steam burger. First up, we gotta get a big patty. And just like the name says, we gotta steam this
Weird.
meat. I placed
Okay.
my patty into the steamer, followed by some white cheddar. Covered it up and let the whole thing steam.
Interesting.
Now, instead of using a regular burger bun, they use Kaiser roll. This is quite different
Oh, I
than
like a
normal
Kaiser
buns,
roll.
and the taste is very light, but also very delicious. And the
I
best
like a
part was
Kaiser
that it
roll.
was toasted with butter. The 50s knew what they were doing. So to assemble it,
The other thing you can do is, like, instead of using butter, and you can do this for grilled cheese or something too, anytime you're toasting bread, you can use mayo, just like a really small amount of mayo on the surface of the bread, and it toasts up so beautifully. It doesn't leave really a taste, because again, you're just using a little bit in place of butter, but like it crisps up really nicely and much faster and like a little bit more evenly usually. It's a fun little hack.
it's pretty simple. I lay down a slice of raw onion, followed by some mayo, ketchup, and mustard. Then the tomato goes right on top. We can't forget about the lettuce and pickles, as now it was time for the beef. And we cannot forget one thing, the cheese.
cheese
To be
sauce.
specific, the steamed white cheddar. Now
That
that
looks
is a burger. The big
good.
question is, how does it taste?
Except for the
And
ketchup.
here we have the 1950s burger.
Damn,
And
that
pickles.
was good.
Yeah,
See, like that is a pretty solid burger. We're getting there. For me, I would not put on the pickles, ketchup, or a raw onion, but like that's a good looking burger.
does.
Yeah, I saw you making this and you steamed it, so I'm not excited.
Wow, this guy is such a hater. Steaming is okay, everybody, for a burger, I guess, right? Let me know in the comments down below. Enough talking, let's give it a try. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Yo,
It's a mess.
yeah, it's a mess because it's big.
It's very messy. It's a mess, but it is a very juicy
That's okay.
burger. I have
I'm
to
okay with
say.
it being
Very
nice.
juicy, extremely flavorful, even though I'm still missing the crust. But I cannot say anything bad about him.
You know what? It's actually not bad.
There we
It's
go.
like you say, the only thing you're really missing is a good crust.
But with that being
Yeah.
said, let's jump on to the 1960s.
In the 1960s,
And maybe some heat.
Chick-fil-A was founded.
Give me some
and so was
spice.
Red Robin's. At this point in time, hamburgers went from being an American classic to slowly spreading throughout the world. However, there's one iconic burger that stands out from the rest, and we're talking about the Big Mac. And funny enough, it was created because of a competition. McDonald's wanted to compete with the Big Boy hamburger, but instead they created one of the most popular burgers in history. And this is what makes it so famous, the Big Mac sauce. To make it, there are several different versions. The one I like the most is this one. Into a bowl I threw in some mayo, followed by ketchup, mustard, sweet onions, onion powder, grated garlic,
Interesting.
butter pickles, white vinegar, salt, and pepper. Mix everything well. the
That's
Big Mac
way more
sauce is
complicated
done.
than I
This
thought.
was also one of the very first burgers to use 3 buns. And at first, Big Mac patties were nice and thick. So we're gonna try to do the original version. I seasoned them with salt and pepper. Got a nice crust and they were ready. After toasting up the buns, it was time for the assembly. We got the bottom bun, followed by a good amount of Big Mac sauce, white onions, shredded lettuce, 2 pickles, that beautiful burger patty we just cooked, American cheese, middle bun, and repeat the process once again. To finish it off, just top it off with the top bun. Now this is
Wow.
the original Big Mac. I wish that it still looked like this in McDonald's. Does
Yeah,
it
that would be
taste
nice.
as good
Maybe
as
I would
it
eat
looks? Well, let's find out.
Here we are on the 1960s, the Big Mac, gentlemen, huh?
I've eaten a little bit too many of these in my life.
I had
I've
quite a
never
few as
eaten
well,
one.
everybody. Big Mac is a classic.
These burgers don't look authentic. They're too good.
McDonald's wish their patties were this big, right?
I've never seen a McDonald's patty this thick. I'm not gonna lie, Guga, I thought you went to McDonald's and you actually just bought a Big Mac.
No.
But now after seeing this, yo, this is no joke.
Let's give it a try, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh man, that tastes like a Big Mac.
That tastes like a Big Mac.
That sauce is so good.
The sauce is right on the money, right?
Fresh Big Mac sauce is crazy.
And it's so juicy. Like you can squeeze it, you see the juices.
Is it fair to say that is like the golden era of burgers right here?
Pretty much because it's still good today.
True.
That is delicious. And now we're gonna go and jump into the 1970s.
All right.
Groovy.
In the 1970s,
Wrong.
the burger cost about 69
Wasn't that the
cents.
60s?
And the newly invented grill at that time was the Big Green Egg.
I think that wasn't Groovy was the 60s and then Far Out was the 70s, or was Groovy the 70s also? I just, for whatever reason, 60s. I don't know. My brain is broken. You all know this.
Another historical burger chain was created, Wendy's, and they shocked the world with unique square patties. They really wanted to stand out from the rest. That's one of the reasons they kept saying fresh, never frozen. This is a good thing because fresh meat is always better. Now to cook up the original Wendy's burgers is pretty simple. We got a nice hot griddle and throw in the patty. Of course, don't forget to toast the buns. For the assembly, they started with the top bun. First, a good amount of ketchup, followed by mayo. Then on the bottom bun goes 1 slice of American cheese, followed by that hot square patty, followed by lettuce, a slice of tomato, onions, and pickles. Then top it off with the top bun. Now this
I also like to have sauce on either side of my burger, because otherwise a lot of the times it ends up feeling kind of dry. So it's I'll put some sauce on the top bun and on the bottom bun, whatever I'm using, mustard or aioli or whatever, just to sort of make sure that I'm ensuring that I get flavor and none of it's going to be dry, or it's got to feel even.
is Wendy's original burger. Does fresh, never frozen really makes a big deal? Well, let's find out.
And here we have the fresh, never frozen.
What's that?
Groovy era. Come
Yeah,
on, guys. The
he's
70s.
doing disco.
Oh, hey, you gotta hit that.
This
You got to do the disco,
guy, man. So this is the Wendy's original burger. I hope I did its justice. Leo, go ahead and grab it.
Damn, there's no crust on this.
No crust, because that's the original and the right way to do it. So hopefully it's gonna taste fantastic. Enough talking, let's give it a try. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
There's something to be said about fresh, never frozen.
This might be one of my favorite burgers on this list so far. This is damn good.
It's so funny. It got the little square patty too.
It is a Wendy's burger. You know what it tastes like. It is delicious. It's still square today, but let's jump into the 1980s. My era, when I was born.
Damn.
Now we're in the 80s, and burger prices were on the rise. At this time, another huge burger joint was opened, created by a father and his 4 sons.
Five Guys!
These 5 Guys wanted to choose quality and flavor over profits.
The first time I ever had Five Guys, I was chilling on the back porch at my house, and my mom threw a bag at me. And She just chucked it at me. She might have like just dropped it from a height, but either way, it was not handed to me. It was tossed to me in some kind of way, and it was Five Guys, and it was good.
And I'm talking about Five Guys. And I'm gonna be making their all-the-way burger. I mean, take a look at this burger. It is incredible. They do something most burger joints don't do. Let me explain. That one has sauteed onions and mushrooms. Just cook them up like you normally
Not
would,
mushrooms,
and no
but
big
yum
deal.
sauteed
But I want you to
onions.
notice one thing. There's no seasoning on them at all. And the same goes for the burger patties.
Oh.
The interesting thing is that if you want seasoning on your burger, you gotta ask for it in Five Guys. And I totally understand where they're coming from. Because the American cheese they put on it, it already has plenty of salt. So once the burger is perfectly cooked, they go ahead and add 2 slices of American cheese.
See, that's what
and
you
put
wanna
an
do.
additional patty right on top.
That's-
Toast up the
see?
buns.
Toast it
that's
up a
done.
little bit
The
like
bottom bun
that.
gets a little bit of ketchup, followed by mustard, those beautiful sauté onions, mushrooms, crispy bacon, a good amount of mayo on the top bun, followed by shredded lettuce,
See?
pickles, and a slice of tomato. As the
That's more what I'm talking about. You have some kind of sauce on either side, usually a different sauce. You have the cheese that's been melted into the burger a little bit. You've got the onions that have been cooked a little bit. Throw some bacon on there. Yes.
finish it up, we go ahead and add those beautiful burger patties with the cheese and top it off with the bun. Now this is the Five
Wow.
Guys all-the-way burger. Now how does it taste?
And here we got the 1980s.
Hey man, you're old, but your burger
I'm still missing some spice. I'm still needing some heat in some of these
are
burgers.
fire though.
So this is Five Guys.
I've been to Five Guys. I never had this much lettuce on the burger though.
Oh, well, that's because you ordered the wrong way.
You order it plain for sure.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh,
Hold on.
out of all the decades, we start going up, boy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we start going up in flavor.
This is the first one with bacon.
Yeah,
The
bacon.
first one. I don't even
I
like
love
bacon,
bacon on my
like that.
burgers.
But on a burger, it's so perfect.
Bacon on a burger is just so damn good.
But now
Yeah,
let's jump
agreed.
on to the next one, the 99.
That's like my favorite way to eat bacon too, is on a burger. Like I like bacon fine, but if it's on a burger, I like always need it. I need it on a burger.
Now that's a good arrow right there.
Come on, baby, me and Angel.
90s.
In the 1990s, things were not very healthy, and Pizza Hut invented the stuffed crust pizza. That was a hit. There was one burger that was also a hit. It was called the Big and Tasty from McDonald's. They made that to fight the Whopper from Burger King, and the Big and Tasty had its own sauce. To make it, it was pretty simple. Into a food processor, I threw in 1 egg yolk, followed by oil, and blend everything on high. Then I added paprika, followed by salt, sugar, garlic powder,
Paprika!
mustard, barbecue sauce, and lime juice. Now blend everything on high, and there you have it, the Big and Tasty sauce.
See,
Now
a
it's
little-
called Big and
little
Tasty for a
spice.
good reason. We got a big burger, so it starts off on the grill, and unlike Five Guys, it gets seasoning, a good amount of salt followed by freshly ground black pepper. Now to assemble, it's pretty simple. We got a good amount of Big and Tasty sauce, followed by Swiss cheese, that monster patty that was just cooked, another slice of cheese, shredded lettuce, diced onions, tomatoes, and that big top bun. Now this is the Big and Tasty. I can't believe McDonald's took this one out of the menu. I can understand the reason why, and you're about to find out really shortly. Because take a look at this burger. Come on now. I could have that burger any day.
Welcome to the 1990s.
Ah, you see, in the 90s they did it right.
That's a big burger.
There's a reason
big
it's
burger.
called Big and Tasty, everybody. So the Big and Tasty is Big and Tasty. Let's try it and let's rate it. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Bro.
Bro, that is so thick.
It's a big patty.
Completely different than anything we've had. And the cheese is different too.
I don't know how I feel about the cheese.
Really?
I think American cheese would have been better.
It's good, but
I agree. I don't like Swiss cheese very much. It's one of the few that I'm just like, I'll take or leave. But, and again, I prefer it when the cheese is kind of already melted. If you cook the cheese a little bit on the burger.
it's so different that I enjoy it. But now let's jump into the 2000s.
2000.
No, I'm a teenager.
Sorry.
Now, in the 2000s, Wendy's was having a problem. Since their owner passed away, they created the Baconator so that it will blow up with young men. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
It
the
saved
Baconator.
Wendy's from selling the company. And the burger costed
wow.
about $4. The Baconator still exists today. And to make it, it's quite simple. First, we need to
So
cook
much
up 2
ketchup on
square
that.
patties. And don't forget, fresh, never frozen. Give your buns a nice toast, then add in mayo and ketchup. Both of the patties got American cheese, followed by 3 slices
That's
of
better,
bacon
though.
each.
They're at
Now
least
place
cooking
one
it.
on top of the other and lay it down on that bottom bun. Now this is the Baconator, and even today it makes a lot of young men really happy. Don't believe me? Well, here we go.
The 2000s, the Baconator.
The year of no vegetables. Let's go.
We just had bacon for the first time on a burger, and now we have too much bacon on a burger.
You ready to give it
Nah.
a try? It is still going on today, so let's see if the Baconator is actually a good nader or a bad one. Wow, that was so cheesy.
That was so cheesy.
The
God
good
damn,
nader
bro.
or the bad nader?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Damn.
This tastes almost identical to the Wendy's Baconator.
Yeah, half pound of beef, 6 slices of bacon.
I mean,
It's crazy good, and by far the unhealthiest burger on this list so far.
Yeah, but it's the
Yeah, for
tastiest
sure.
one, I'll tell you
It
that.
is still good, but on 2010, things started getting a little weird.
This is when social media is at its peak and everybody wanted to have the next burger. That's when this was invented, the ramen burger. Now, if you've never tasted this, you should, as this was very
No.
popular in the 2010s. But the
Will
original
not.
version was like this. First thing, the noodles. You want to get 2 containers just like this. Lay down some clinch plastic so things would get out easy. Once you have both of them, go ahead and cook some instant noodles and mix them up with some eggs. You should have a texture like this in the end. Now place them on a bowl that we just made, press them down with another container, as now you want to go ahead and cook them until they're fully solid. Because you want to toast those noodles
Interesting.
exactly the same way you do with buns. Oh yeah, now you can be as creative as you like going forward. But the original version was like this. You want to go ahead and cook up some quail eggs, get them nice and
Quail
crispy.
eggs,
To assemble, you
interesting.
want to use a little bit of teriyaki sauce on the bottom noodle bun, followed by
Okay,
that burger we
teriyaki
just
sauce.
cooked, and those fried quailed eggs. Finish it off with more teriyaki sauce, and of course the top noodle bun. Now get ready for an Instagram photo and post it online. As this
needs
was
way
very
more than that.
popular in the 2010s.
Really?
The question
Why?
is, how did it taste? Well, let's find out.
I never saw that ever. No one I never went to a restaurant ever that sold this.
And here we got 2010.
Yeah, things got weird.
That is not a burger.
Come on, man.
What is that? That's noodles on a patty.
Okay, can we just try it before it breaks?
All right, enough talking. Welcome to the 2010s. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
It's pretty good though. Pretty good.
See, but why don't I wouldn't eat that like a burger though. Like you make that, I would make it more like ramen. Like you eat it like the noodles and teriyaki sauce, chop up the meat and put the egg on there. Like it's
Okay,
weird.
hold on. Nobody told me that the noodles were flavored. Is there like some kind of teriyaki sauce or something on it?
100%.
Damn, I hate to say it, but this is actually good.
Teriyaki sauce is really
Everybody, I'm
good.
telling you.
You made it once. I'm glad you made it again. But damn, this is the messiest burger in the world, okay?
This is a really
Yeah, it
good
seems like it would
burger,
just
but not as good
disintegrate.
as the burgers we have nowadays, like the burger that changed my life, Guga's creation.
This is a smash burger, everybody. I highly recommend. It is a delicious burger. If you've never had a smash burger done properly, I highly recommend. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below which one did you enjoy the most and which one was something that you've never seen before. If you did enjoy the video, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Okay. Well, again, for me, I don't like ketchup, so none of the ones with ketchup would I find good. Which is basically all of them. They all use ketchup, but you can take ketchup off of anything. And I like a little bit more spiciness in my burgers. And my chicken or whatever it is that my quesadillas, if I'm gonna be eating anything, I like hot sauce. I like a hot cheese or spicy mayo, something to give it a little bit of heat. When I cook meat, I often end up using paprika in a lot of stuff, or red pepper. Cajun dry rub sauce. I use Cajun sauce, not sauce, but Cajun dry rub. I use that on almost everything. Just come on, give me a little bit of that spice. So that's where I am. That's what I thought most of those burgers missed. But I enjoyed that. That was interesting. I hope you also enjoyed it. And just go ahead and let me know in the comments below what I should look at next. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video, and I will see you next time. Bye.